He's selfish.
Not great,
Selfish
but yeah.
is his main trait. It's all about Joe. He's looking out for himself.
Year's 2044, bro. You got to be a little bit selfish. You end up like those scumbags out there.
Yeah.
But Dave, it's a good conversation.
Fittest.
Like, what is the young version of you doing now for the future version of yourself? Are you eating healthy? Are you working on like how to be better with your money? Are you
slugging on a margarita?
But that's like, it's something to think about, right? This movie does do a pretty good job of just like the young version and the old version, how they are like totally synced with each other. It's just that with time travel, they are in the same world at the same time. So one guy's literally getting body parts lobbed off. Yep. And the other one's literally like carving into his arm, meet me at this diner, kind of thing. Like, you will do self-mutilation to communicate something. I don't know. I've just never seen that really in a
too much on the line.
Time traveling movie before. Dave?
You go. Yeah, you go first.
Shh. While the intro plays. Hello, Nomads, and welcome to episode 128 of the Nomads of Fantasy podcast. My name is Eric, and I'm your host on this time-traveling adventure this evening, but I'm not alone. I got a couple other time travelers with me as well. I have Brandon.
This time travel crap just fries your brain like an egg.
And I also have Dave.
I guess everything does come back around, like your goddamn ties.
There you go.
Both
Abe. Were those both Abe quotes?
Yeah. Both.
On that one? Nice. Okay.
Jeff Daniels.
Yep, Jeff Daniels. Making a
Who
good
I forgot was in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't know what these quotes are from, you should. Well, maybe you don't, 'cause I don't know. But these quotes are from the movie Looper. It came out in 2012, directed by Rian Johnson, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and most importantly for us, Bruce Willis, with the Year of Bruce. We started out a little bit slow on the Year of Bruce. So far, we've only done Sin City in the Year of Bruce, but we are going number 2 for Looper this time around. But we're going to get some more Bruce on the schedule. This is Year of Bruce, and we should be celebrating all that is Bruce Willis. And I was actually looking at Bruce Willis filmography earlier and realized there's a lot of movies that I have not seen of his.
Okay.
That I
Which
would
was like early 2000, early
Yeah.
2000 random ones, like
Tears of the Sun or something. Like that.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Well, I think I have seen Armageddon, but like when I was a kid, so I don't really remember it all that much. So like even some of the bigger ones, I haven't really seen.
He did the voice of the baby in Look Who's Talking.
Look Who's Talking. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so there's definitely
good.
Hell of a career.
Definitely a couple big ones. I mean, I guess you could say that this was a shared cast. Like he was the main character. There's 2 main characters in this movie.
No. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's the main character.
They play the same character though.
Yeah.
So you could argue, but whatever. We'll get to that in a minute. But we didn't get any social this week, but I just want to promote our social, especially the Discord. If you want to join us, chat with us about movies, video games, TV shows, whatever, Pizza Hut, Burger King, anything that's on your mind, come over, join us at the
Do we have a channel dedicated to Pizza Hut? Because if we
no,
don't, we should.
We just have a food channel.
There's a food channel.
Just a food channel, which is like a catch-all, but we should get a dedicated Pizza Hut
man.
channel.
I haven't had it in like a month and a half.
It's
we have a side episode where we debate how stuffed crust is garbage.
Well, you're going to lose that argument 2 to 1.
We're going to argue about it for days, but you guys will be wrong.
We can do a tier list on Pizza Hut items, menu items. That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun. But yeah, join us over thenomadsfantasy.com/Discord if you want to chat with us there. But I'll swing it over to Dave to tell us what we got on the schedule.
Check out the weather.
Dave with the weather.
Yeah, see over here next week. Beginning of March, we're going to be doing our catch up for what we've been playing for all of March. I know me and Brandon been tag teaming a couple stuff and watching
TV show that I started. I don't know how
Been
far
watching stuff. Haven't been playing a ton of stuff, but been watching.
Yeah.
A Balatro update for everybody to hear.
Oh yes.
Oh lordy,
absolutely.
please.
And then Eric's gonna be having a baby, so me and Brandon are gonna hit up the Fellowship of the Ring. We're gonna follow Frodo all the way down to Mordor.
Me physically, I am having a baby.
Not in Fellowship of the Ring though.
Well,
Fellowship of the Ring, he fucking
the little
finds
third
to
of
like
it,
a
first
stream.
third.
See,
and then they're like
Rivendell.
This is the type of stuff I'm excited about to hear you guys argue about on the episode when I'm not there.
I was wrong there. I'll admit that.
But yeah, this will be my last full, the main episode of the podcast. I think we're doing a catch up next week, so that'll be my last one before I go on leave for the month of April.
Right.
But
sure.
Yeah.
So I'll be gone for a
little
little
bit. We'll do
bit.
our best in your absence, but we'll be excited when you do.
I'll be listening.
Return.
I'll be listening and critiquing.
Yeah, we could get creative on how to interject or get you in some of these episodes.
Yeah, I gotta get some video tutorials. Maybe I'll put in some star wipes and some fancy stuff.
Oh, there you go.
We'll see.
There you go.
That'll help. At the end of April, we're gonna be heading back into Star Wars. I know we were just there, but we're gonna hit up some Rogue One to rewatch that. Since we have there's some differing opinions on that. That one is I don't know. I think it's a universally loved.
It's not a bad
universally
movie.
loved here, but
how hot we're on it, and I think some of us are more hot than others, at least between us three.
Absolutely, we got.
I will be
Fallout
rewatching
show coming up.
Spirit. Yes, I'm excited about the Fallout show.
Fallout show. I can't wait to talk about that one with you guys too. So, yeah, lots of fun stuff coming up. So that's it for the weather over here. Back to you at the news desk.
All right. Well, thank you, Dave. With that, we'll take a little break right about here, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Looper right after this. And we are back to talk about Looper. We are back.
Are we back in time?
Again,
we are back. We have gone back to the past, to the year 2044.
That's right.
So, yeah, if you don't know, we're talking about Looper. This was released in 2012, like I said, directed by Rian Johnson. It's classified as a sci-fi action thriller, time travel movie.
Accurate.
I'm always a sucker for time travel movies. I don't know about you guys, but any movie involving time travel, I'm pretty much there for right away. All you have to say, time travel, I'm in. I always like to see how different movies handle time travel, the timelines, the concepts. So we'll get into all of that. But starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, obviously Bruce Willis, Emily Blunt, and can't forget Jeff Daniels. Also as Abe. But yeah, this movie was critically well received, and did actually fairly well at the box office. Budget of $30 million, box office $176 million, so not too shabby.
No.
It's got like 80s in Rotten Tomatoes, all that good stuff. So relatively well received when it came out. And I mean, this came out in 2012, so this was at the height of my movie going days. I was at the movies probably twice a week during this time. So we were seeing everything that came out. This was one we saw that actually, you see a lot of movies and a lot of them just kind of you forget about. But this is one that stuck with me for a long time as one that I really enjoyed when we first saw it. So we watched it once when it first came out. I think we watched it once shortly after, maybe a year later, but it's probably been at least 10 years since I've seen this movie. Yeah, I have a good history with it. I know, Brandon, you've seen it before, right?
This is my second viewing. I saw it when it first came out.
Okay.
And then I saw it and finished it today.
Just meow.
Yeah, just meow. And Dave, this is first timer here, right?
First time.
Looper. All right.
This is my first loop.
First loop.
Hit us with it, Dave. What
Yeah, I want to hear it. Impressions.
It was an interesting one. I expected a little more action. It got a little slow in the middle. The pacing kind of slowed down. That first part of the movie is pretty intense. The getting out of the city and everything. When the farm starts and the kid with the TE, is that what they call it? TK?
TK. Yep. Telekinetics.
Yeah.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop. That was a little twist on, what was going on. I kind of had the feeling that the kid was gonna, he had some weirdness going on with him, but no, I liked it. I thought it was really good. It's something that, like, once you kind of know the twist, it probably changes your second and third viewing of this movie. Kind of knowing how it ends and kind of looking for some of those other things, or things that I couldn't figure out what was happening. Like when the first, what do they call him? The first runner gets away, like body parts started disappearing, and I didn't really know what was going on. But then after kind of like figuring it out, or reading online, I'm like,
okay. Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, like, why isn't stuff on Bruce Willis just like disappearing and stuff? Because the dude's fucking nose disappeared.
Yeah, they cut his fucking nose in the present. They cut his nose off. They cut all his
when he was young, they were mutilating him. So old version of him would not have these things.
It makes sense now, but I wasn't fully into the loop because he had the thing written on his arm.
They were marking it so in the future. Yeah.
Which
I love stuff like that. It's very clever.
Yeah.
Because you don't really see that in future movies. Usually it's just one goes in one time, and then like maybe something gets interrupted and if butterflies into something else. But
or if something changes,
let's
then
communicate.
You might not exist anymore. Yeah.
Right. That's very true. And like I don't know, just the way that they handled the time travel, I thought was kind of interesting. It seemed like very straightforward, like logical. Like, we're not going to worry about any of this other side bullshit. We're just going to worry about people traveling through time. So
before we get too far into the conversation, I do want to give just a slight overview of the plot for everyone out there listening, whether you've seen this or you haven't seen it. Just a quick plot summary, just so we're all on the same page. But so we have Joe in the year 2024. He is, or 2044, only 20 years in the future from current day.
Almost the time travel.
And we're gonna have flying bikes. We're gonna have flying cars.
Do you think we're gonna have time travel in 50 years from now?
Fuck no. Have you seen TikTok lately?
It's all.
This is what we're doing with technology.
It's all burning to hell. Yeah. But Joe is what they call a looper, which basically the crime syndicates. He works for a crime syndicate that's from 30 years into the future when time travel has been invented. They send back the people they want to kill. The loopers are at the time and place where the target is going to appear at that specific time. Shoot them, dispose of the body. Boom, bing, bang, boom, done. They get paid.
But only the bad guys are sending people back.
Yeah, it's illegal to do time travel. They discover it in the future, but it's quickly like we cannot do this because you can go back in time and really fuck shit up. So it's illegal. But the crime syndicate says, you fucking take out some Tony over here.
Easy way to get rid of a body.
Get rid of him.
Where's the fucking FBI time travelers? I want some time cops in this.
Well, then watch Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I know, to come back and kill the loopers.
Yeah, that
Looper
would be
2.
Looper 2, re-looped, looped again. But yeah, so they have they're Joe's all good. He's enjoying what he's doing. He's making money. He's stashing his silver to go to France. No, the Gatman are the muscle that work for Abe. Those are the Gatman,
those are the hired guys.
To keep the loopers in line. So the loopers, so Joe's doing his job. He's all good. But then we get introduced to this concept of closing loops, which basically means they send your future self back to you, and then you unknowingly kill yourself. And then once you discover you see a huge payment, it's a much bigger payment than normal. And you're like, oh shit, this is me. So that kind of puts a clock on your life. Like, okay, you have 30 years left. Enjoy it while you can, because you're gonna die in 30 years. So I mean, that's kind of the plot. We can kind of jump off from there in whichever direction we want to go. But yeah.
How did you guys like it? With your latest viewing? So as good as you remembered it?
So, I forgot a lot. I just remember the ending and the concept. But I think there are some pacing issues. I think it's a really good movie, though. Like, I can't really complain about anything. I'm nitpicking. But back then I had one main issue, and I have it more so now. I think it's just very distracting. The young Joe.
The pacing, you say? Or the
No,
no.
not the
Oh,
pa-
the
not the
makeup.
pacing.
Yeah, I know where you're going
The
with this.
makeup, the prosthetics that they put. I appreciate that they went for it, but the end
I agree.
result, it didn't look like him. He did a great job acting and sounding like him.
The
He did a
mannerisms,
good job.
yes, absolutely.
Because we've watched a lot of Bruce on this podcast. We have done probably like 6 movies of the guy now from just 4 years of doing this. But the prosthetics was just I couldn't. He just looked weird. He just looked.
It didn't look
weird.
like Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Just-
Like it was kind of like I
It
didn't
looked
really
like
notice
either of them. It looked like an idiot. He looked dumb. He just looked silly.
Yeah, it wasn't.
You know, and it's a shame
wasn't
because
right.
let him. I've seen movies where like you just assume, hey, that's what he looked like. Yes, we know what young Bruce Willis looks like, but who fucking cares? Just let him act and be
There's
him,
a cool
younger version of him.
So Joseph Gordon-Levitt actually. So originally Rian Johnson wanted just Joseph Gordon-Levitt to play both versions of Joe, young Joe and old Joe. But Joseph
Yeah, they
Gordon-Levitt
could've.
was the one that actually advocated, like, no, you should get a well-established actor to play the old version of Joe. So Rian Johnson kind of took that advice and was like, okay, we'll go with Bruce Willis. And so every day for shooting, Joseph Gordon-Levitt spent like 4 hours in makeup getting these prosthetics on.
Yeah, 3 or 4
Wow.
hours. Yeah.
He studied for like a long time. Bruce Willis's movies, he would watch them like over and over again, trying to replicate his mannerisms and all that stuff. But I agree, the end result with the makeup, like there's the scene in the diner where they're sitting across the table from each other, and if you pause it and compare like even just the facial structure and the nose, it's like they don't look anything like each other. Like who thought
I
that?
mean, he got his nose
Yeah.
broken or something.
Yep.
I didn't even really even really notice it. I just thought his like because this was after Inception. Like so this is like first main leading role for Joseph Gordon could have been, but like I just thought
He was in a couple
he
things,
like his face was just rounder. I couldn't really put a finger on it, but I didn't notice it. Obviously they don't look the same because
Yeah,
Bruce Willis looks like his face went through a meat grinder sometimes, most times in movies that he's in.
yeah. I think if they just stuck, I think the prosthetics were unnecessary. Like we could make that jump to believe like, okay, just because he doesn't look exactly like Bruce Willis, he still
Right.
acts and talks
We
like
watched
him.
Solo. We watched Solo,
Right.
the Star Wars story, and I was like, how does anybody play Han Solo? But in the movie, in the moment, yeah, this guy's another version of Han Solo. Next,
great.
let's go. Let's continue with the story.
Yeah.
You know, like I never once was like taken out of it, like, but he's not Harrison Ford.
Right.
But he wasn't even trying to be Harrison Ford. He was acting like Han Solo, you know, and that was about it. But this movie, man, his acting was on point. He really did act like Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
just
absolutely.
a shame that he had this bad makeup on him, you know. And
it
maybe
was-
somebody can do a deep fake technology version of this movie. Because hey, we're already covering up the main actor's face anyways with prosthetics. You might as well just do a AI
Right.
CG version of it and just be done with it. And say, here's young, you know. I don't know.
I didn't know he was in so many Rian Johnson movies. Looking
Yeah.
at now, Looper, he was in The Last Jedi, and then he was in both of the Knives Out movies. So
He was in Rian Johnson's directorial debut, which was a movie called Brick. And this was in 2005, which it actually looks really good, and I kind of want to do it for the podcast. It's known as Rian Johnson's like best movie, his directorial debut.
Okay.
It's like a murder
Really?
mystery thing, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's the main character. But I was reading up on it a little bit earlier, and it sounded like a good one. But
I am interested.
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I loved the direction of this movie. Apparently Rian Johnson had been working on this story for a long time, like almost 10 years before he actually
You could tell
made this
the world
movie.
building was sound. Like he had pretty much a very tight story with tight characters, and the world was just like, yeah, I can believe most of this.
It's believable, yeah. And like I liked, because it was like kind of like more practical stuff, like the cars. I liked that they kind of just like glued some solar panels onto it. I mean,
All over the
Yeah.
place.
where Joe was living was kind of like a slummier area. I think it
Yes.
takes place in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So like,
Okay.
in the future there, there's fucking people in the streets, living on the streets,
shooting each other in the streets. It's like
shooting each other on the streets. Joe's zipping through in his Miata, like just trying to avoid running over people. But it was kind of cool. Like you said, everything in the world made sense. And I liked that they didn't. This movie is about time travel, but they didn't really focus too much on the time travel specifics or the actual science behind it or the aspects of it. Which I enjoyed.
No, I'll agree there, but I didn't like the exposition. I didn't like the narration from the actor. I didn't, or
like in the beginning,
young Joker, in the beginning and the end.
Everything? Okay.
I feel like the story in the world building was strong enough that I didn't need to hear him talking about a looper does this, a closer does this. Like
you gotta know all that stuff though for it to make sense.
But I was thinking about this. I'm watching this movie, and it just shows him in the field. Somebody shows up, shoots him, and he disposes the body, and it's just like that's pretty fucking cool. What the hell did I just see? I think that might have been, again, I know this got really good reviews, but to me, if I didn't see that voice or hear that voiceover, I would be more interested and excited because, like, the hell, he's aiming a gun in the air at nothing, and then somebody showed up out of nowhere. No, gets killed.
Right.
He flips the body over, takes these plates out, silver plates out, and then he burns the body. I think
but you gotta know the rules. You gotta know the rules of the looping.
But there's ways you can show those rules because they do that later on. He's talking to the kid. He's explaining.
The way I view
even with them explaining it, I didn't get it.
The way I viewed the explanation was like he was almost explaining it to someone else, maybe not the audience, but like someone else, later in his life or whatever.
Hey, I'm a looper.
I could go both ways. I like.
All you need is like a 30-second scene where it's like, "Hey, don't mess with him. Why? He's a looper. What do you mean a looper? Hey, what's a looper?" It's like, "Oh, they kill people from the future or something like that." That's how don't talk about it.
I don't know. Yeah,
but
I could go both
talking
ways.
to us because it's like when you watch Blade Runner, excellent sci-fi movie, right? There's a version where there's no narration, exposition, and then there is, and like that was the producer's like, no, people need to know everything, and I'm like, no.
I feel like there wouldn't have been an opportunity, at least with the way the story was structured. I mean, Joe was kind of a loner. He had his friend Seth, but Abe explaining it to who? Joe again? Oh, you're a looper. You kill people that we send back. I feel like there wasn't an opportunity to
team. Hey, take him out and show him. There's ways you could have done it. I think. Instead, I wasn't a fan of it. I'm not a fan of over the character narrating and doing the exposition. I'm not a fan of that because I think that's lazy storytelling. I think it's just like, hey, we might have a fucking black screen with text that says "in the future."
They used to do that.
I know.
They used to do that.
But otherwise, it's like it's an A24 film. It's just like doesn't tell you anything.
They don't tell you shit.
You just gotta guess and figure it out halfway through.
I like
movie.
that. I think that's cool because the world building this was so good. They could have pulled it off.
I usually don't like that, but for some reason I didn't really have a problem with it in this movie. I think because he wanted you to get into the story and into knowing exactly what's going on right away, so that you're on
focus
board.
On Joe.
Right.
And the character arc of Joe, like living in this situation where he's not a good guy. He's not doing good things.
He's a fucking junkie. He's
a junkie and he's just killing people. He just did whatever he could because he didn't have much anyway. So he's just kind of like, this is the life I was given. I was given a gun. And that means something. Because in that future, looks like it's fucking not... The future does not.
It's not a good time. No. Shit's falling apart. People are like, he spends his days and nights like just taking this eyedropper drug and going to the titty bars. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Like, what else? Right. It's got to get old after a while.
I think, as opposed to I was saying before, like typical time travel movies, I feel like they focus a lot on like the science and why or how the time travel was invented or how it works. They didn't do any of that in this movie, which I appreciated because it gave us more time to focus on the story and the characters itself. Like it didn't need to be bogged down by all the time travel. Joe even said time travel exists in the future. That's all there is to it, and we just accept that in this world, and then it gives us the rest of the time to just focus on Joe as a character, his motivations, his dealing with his future self. So yeah, I appreciated that about this movie.
It's sci-fi. You don't have to explain anything anymore, but
no,
it happens. Things happen.
Well, you do. You got to explain loopers and closers.
Right.
But you don't explain the technology.
Where all these goddamn
they do a pretty good job with that. They just Joe and Joe are like next to each other, and they'll just like, hey, we could talk about this and make fucking diagrams with straws. Let's not talk about the,
I do like how they did reference it like that. Like, yeah, we're not gonna get into it. Like,
right.
It was almost like they're talking to us.
Another funny thing that I was reading about, you know how Joe's learning French in the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
Because he wants to go to Paris after he gets out of, after he closes his loop, he's going to go to Paris and spend the rest of his days, blah, 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 whatever. Apparently, they wrote that into the story that he doesn't actually go to Paris because they were originally, like, going to, instead of going to China, they were going to go to Paris, but they couldn't afford to make the trip to Paris and film in Paris. So I guess the producers of this movie is a company like from China or something. So they were like, okay, we'll just pay for a trip to China instead. So that's why he goes to China in the future instead of Paris. Because there's that one throwaway scene where he's talking to old Joe. He's like, oh, you're learning French, eh? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to Paris. And he's like, don't go to Paris. Go to China. And he's like, I'm from the future. Trust me. Go to China. I just thought that was funny.
That's what Jeff Daniels says that. Abe says that.
No, that was old Joe when they're talking in the diner.
Abe does too, though.
Oh, he does?
He says he's still doing that French shit. He's like, yeah. He's like, take my advice. Go to China.
Oh, like, was it? Oh, you're right. I think you're right.
He goes, I want to go to France. He's like, trust me, China.
Go to China.
So,
yep.
And then later on, he meets old Joe, and he says, so, what the fuck? Do I learn like Mandarin in the future or something like that? He's like, no, you learn French. It's good. It was good. It was worth to do. Confirms it. It was like, yeah, it was fine. Like, it was a good idea learning French, but he meets a woman out of China though that he falls in love with. I think this is a good spin on the time. When you look at time travel movies, this genre, there's a lot of ways you can do it. I thought this one had a really cool concept where you don't really have a hero in this story. Young Joe and old Joe are not good guys.
You're rooting for young Joe, like.
He's
not a great guy.
Most of the movie, he's not. He doesn't fucking care. I was gonna say
he does a turn later in the movie, but earlier,
he's got a heart of gold because he's not like his dickhead friends, like with the prostitute and whatever.
Bad.
He wants
he still
to
writes his friend out for money.
He does.
He could have just given that money up and said, "Fuck it," and I saved my guy and he got out. But
he was never getting out.
Yeah, I think he's just his person. He's selfish. He's looking out for himself, and I think that is what changes in the future. Is that he finally meets someone that he cares about, like throughout his entire life.
But he's willing to kill children to be with the woman he loves because he's changed.
That's what the story's about, though.
Right.
Like, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to do to protect what you care about and what you love? And that goes for old Joe, and that also goes for Sarah and Sid as well.
Right.
It works both ways there because they're both fighting for something they care about, even though they might have to do something they don't want to do, or they might know something bad is going to happen if they do this thing. So like, there's that push and pull from both sides of it. But yeah, dude, that was really tough when
it's cool because like who do you root for? Because old Joe has finally figured it out how to be a decent person, and he had love. And he's just trying to get back to his love. It's a very good thing, but it's also selfish because he's willing to hunt down and kill children to stop his wife from being killed.
I wrote that down.
That's what he wants. Yeah. So, I don't know. And then just like the young Joe, he's selfish, but he's slowly learning the big picture, which is like, man, a lot of harm and evil could be prevented if I just end my own life.
I mean, that's the
in that
thing.
last
I
moment.
mean, I didn't mind him the whole movie. I was, once he gets clean and sober, like he seems to get his head back on his
Right.
shoulders a little bit. But I don't know. In the beginning, I didn't. You know that he's not a scumbag,
he's
the
not a
the other
bad guy,
guys,
but
but
He's
not
selfish.
great,
Selfish
but yeah.
is his main trait. Like it's all about Joe. He's looking out for himself.
Year's 2044, bro. You got to be a little bit
Right.
selfish. You end up like those scumbags out there.
Yeah.
But Dave, it's a
Survival
good
of the
conversation.
fittest.
Like, what is the young version of you doing now for the future version of yourself? Are you eating healthy? Are you working on like how to be better with your money? Are you
slugging on a
But that's
margarita?
like it's something to think about, right? This movie does do a pretty good job of just like the young version and the old version, how they are like totally synced with each other. It's just that with time travel, they are in the same world at the same time. So one guy's literally getting body parts lobbed off. And the other one's literally like carving into his arm, meet me at this diner, kind of thing. Like you will do self-mutilation to communicate something. I don't know. I've just never seen that really in a
Too much on the line.
time traveling movie before. But yeah, and I don't know. I just young Joe in general is a good person. He was dealt a bad card by living in the streets and basically being hired by Abe and like a bunch of thugs, right? Gave him a gun.
He wasn't really
stuff.
given a choice in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but this kid Sid has the opportunity because he'll have a mom who loves him in a good spot. She will do whatever it takes. He didn't have that, and he kind of turned into like a selfish bad guy. So he finally figured it out, took himself out, and closed his own loop. But Sid has the opportunity because he's destined to be the Rainmaker. And this Rainmaker is some guy in the future who's just hell-bent on getting revenge on all the loopers because they killed his mom, right? So Joe's loop basically creates a lot of problems. For him that was a selfless act because he wasn't ending his life; he was saving.
He was
all those
breaking
kids that died.
breaking the cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, all those young kids. Well, see, how does that work? So old Joe.
Don't think about it too hard. Don't think about it too hard.
Like an egg.
No.
But like because old Joe goes out and starts killing. At least kills one kid. He tries to kill the other kid, but he gets zapped. But he kills that one kid, right? And it happens when Sid is at the present time in the movie. So if young Joe is killed, old Joe is not able to come back and kill that kid. So does that kid come back to life? Like the world
I don't know.
will
That's
change.
why it breaks
We
your
don't
brain.
know. We don't know that much.
Well, then we get into the concept of like multiple timelines, all that stuff. But like this, they imply that this has already happened before, and obviously the name Loop. I mean, it's not just loopers like the people
It seems
in the
like one
movie doing
universe,
loops.
just different times.
It's literally this has happened before. It's looping. They're stuck in this cycle.
He is the looper.
Joe breaks the cycle by killing himself.
Whoa.
This has already all happened before. You
Right.
know, they're just stuck in this cyclical time loop of old Joe coming back, killing Sid's mom, Sid becoming the Rainmaker, old Joe coming back again. You know, it's a never-ending loop until young Joe finally breaks the cycle by killing himself.
Right. Which is crazy because Bruce Willis was in another fucking movie. They had a loop called 12 Monkeys.
Yep.
Well, that's true.
So-
Forgot about that one.
Time travel movie loop with a loop.
That is true though. You can't think too far on it. Like the one part I scoffed at is like he's trying to figure out what the numbers mean that was written on his hand.
Yeah.
Because it's written at the top of the map that he has at the farm or whatever.
Yeah.
And he shows it to the mom. What's her name? Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is your house. And then she sees the number at the top and she's just like immediately pulls the gun on him and like flips out. And she's like, that's his birthday and hospital number or something like that. And I'm like, wait a minute, lady. Like I understand that you could get his birthday, but you're just going to like pull his hospital number out of the air and like connect those dots. Like there was a big like jump. There's some jumps that you got to make to.
Sure. I mean, Joe should have been killed when he was in his apartment.
People are horrible
Had him
shots.
dead to rights on the fucking ladder, and he shoots and he misses him. I'm like, oh my god, your whole job is to be able to take out
Right. These are supposed to be
Loopers.
like hired guns, like the best gunmen that
Yeah,
the mob
this is a
can
big
buy.
crisis. We cannot let this guy get away. You send your better guys. All right, sure, maybe Kid Blue or whatever, but like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
this other guy totally had him. He could,
Especially at the apartment, like he's running right by him, and he's just missing
Right.
every single shot. There's a lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of stormtrooper aim.
Some
I was just
conveniences.
gonna say it's the stormtrooper thing. Like the hero gets away, doesn't get shot. Although I feel like none of those Gatmen ever successfully killed anybody except like Seth. But that the only reason Seth died was because Joe gave him up in the beginning. So I feel like Abe's got to reevaluate his staff there.
Yeah, Abe had an off-screen death. Was that interesting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Well,
interesting.
Was that an interesting choice?
Is he dead?
He's got
Well, he had
a
a
fucking bullet
bullet
in
in
his
his
head.
fucking head.
Wait, Seth did we see him again?
No, Abe.
Oh,
Brandon's
Abe.
talking
Yes,
about
yes, yes.
when-
Sorry.
Yeah, when Abe gets
Yeah.
murked
Yeah, Abe
by
did.
Jeff
fucking
Daniels'
old
character.
Joe. Yeah.
Who was a great character. Like, I feel like, yes, he's like basically working for the mob from the future, but I feel he had like a father figure kind of vibe going. Like he's like,
Yeah.
hey, listen, guys, we're all in on this. I'm not gonna
He's mentor. Yeah.
kill you.
He's
I'll give you an
mentoring Joe.
opportunity. You know. So and then what's his name? It's not Kid Joe. What is it? Kid Blue. Kid Blue.
Kid Blue. Yeah.
Kid Blue. I mean, constantly is given an opportunity.
I was gonna
You
say
know?
he's gotten like 100 chances and he fucked all of them up, and then he finally doesn't get any more.
Yeah, Kid Blue's death kind of meh though. You know.
You didn't even really need it. Like,
I thought
he
that was a
saw
cool scene.
he saw dead Jeff Daniels.
Shooting the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. He drives all the way out there and he just gets murdered and that's it. Like he could have
He's
just
like, you
stayed
see
with
how much-
Abe and
Yeah.
we would have never known.
He
Like,
wanted
who
to prove
cares?
himself though. He wanted to bring back Joe
Yeah.
to prove himself
But
to
just-
Abe.
The way people die in this is interesting. A lot of people are killed off screen. I'm thinking about it. Like, sorry, yeah, the people sent from the past to the past are killed to glorious effect. Okay, you kind of get that whole thing with the money and all that stuff, with the looping and all that stuff. But the kid is killed off screen.
You can't kill kids on
the
screen.
guy
that was
gets,
a
like,
good choice.
You can't kill
yeah.
him on screen.
Oh,
That's,
please.
that's
I
not
know. I don't want to see that. Joe kills himself. It's like he turns it on his chest and he shoots, but like it's like really quick and it kind of ends right away. The death of Kid Blue, he dies in the smoke, but you don't really see him. You don't see people get shot and then go flying, basically.
good. Yeah.
And then
Abe and Seth.
Seth, you don't really see Seth die either. And then even old Seth, you don't really see. You see the gun come out from the darkness and shoot.
Old Seth.
And
That
then
fucked
the
me
guy
up.
that's
Like, that
the
was
guy that's
weird.
being like X-Men to death, where he's getting like the KT from Sid. He's like lifting that
Oh yeah, that's true.
guy in the air.
Oh
and
yeah,
he's just, like,
he blew up Jesse.
vaporizes him?
Fucking yeah,
yeah.
that was cool. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. They didn't show it like gruesome.
You just don't.
Apparently,
Yeah. PG-13 rating maybe is that
Was
what
it?
this movie was? Was it rated R?
no, there was boobies.
Oh, it's
there
rated
was
R. Oh yeah, because it's
blood.
boobs.
There was boobies,
boobs
bloods,
in the beginning.
F words.
Yeah.
What do you mean the boobs?
Yeah.
I like the horny Sarah scene. Cracked me up because she's just like, I'm just laying in my bed in lingerie and I'm just gonna
Right?
caress my leg, and then all of
I
a
thought
sudden
that-
I'm like, I
like-
know where this is going. Let's just get
Mm,
this moving.
Joe's in the barn outside. Maybe he wants to, get
Chill.
down. Yep.
And he comes all running up, and he's a gentleman, and he's all worried about safety and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, Joe, he's a good guy. See,
He's a good guy, and he's just like, "Hey, I'll have some sexy time." And then what? You gonna get her pregnant and then have another kid? What?
Another
Yeah.
another
No, you need
Rainmaker.
the Rainmaker instead. No.
yeah. He starts the
Abandon
whole
that
loop all
kid.
over again.
Yep. Yeah.
Could be.
I
was gonna ask Brandon, what did you think about the kid acting?
It's not bad. It was pretty good.
Dude,
The kid
I
was
thought
like-
it was great actually.
He's weirdly
Sid.
he's weirdly verbal. Like
For
he's
like
got
a
a very.
7-year-old
He looked like he's 7. He's 10.
in
He
the
said,
role.
said he was 10, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's actually 10, the actor, but in the movie he's supposed to be portraying a 10-year-old.
No, but he had like his
He's
facial
18
expressions.
now, and he's only 4'2". Short little
Okay.
guy.
Yeah, because it seemed like I don't know. I don't want to say he was like a little person, but
Yeah, something mature about his face.
he was, yes, it was weirdly mature for like the age that he was portraying.
Right.
Dude, he
Like
was
could act,
when he was angry and fucking yelling at Sarah, liar, liar. Like he was legit a fucking scary little kid, dude. Like,
Oh,
I don't
I
know.
would go
like
hide
that
in the
part.
safe too.
Yeah,
Right?
That's when
that.
it turns into a real thriller because it's just like
Right.
I'm not
Like,
really
what the
scared of
fuck
old
is wrong
Joe.
with this kid?
I'm more afraid of this kid.
Right.
You know?
Well,
Yeah, I
that's
thought
like
that
the
was-
turning point. Like, cause I mean, I was again like you, Brandon. I forgot a lot of things on this rewatch of the movie.
I
So
forgot the whole farm.
As I was watching, I was remembering things because I'm like, why are they killing these kids again? Oh yeah, Joe's going back to try to kill the Rainmaker as a kid. Then I'm like, oh, that's right, Sid is the Rainmaker. Like I was slowly remembering these things, but I feel like, for someone first time watching it, I feel like that point where he's like yelling at Sarah, that's like, something's wrong with this kid. This kid's not quite right.
I remember my first time watching it. I didn't put it together until he blew up Jesse.
Yeah,
I didn't
right.
know. I was like, this kid just got an attitude. This poor woman's just trying to like be a good person and try to raise a kid. I thought that was just like where they were going with it. But like when he fell, and this is a really cool shot.
Yeah.
When Jesse's back, he's because he just had sex or something like that, and Jesse's got Sarah, and Joe runs down.
I just got done doing your mom. I'm gonna come downstairs now.
Right. I know. We're all doing not Bruce and Willis impressions, so this is great.
No.
Hey.
But-
That's why I'm a
Yeah.
looper. I'm a looper.
Hey, I'm
A
Italiano. I like that the scene where like Jesse gets freaked out and he hears something, so he goes and shows his gun at the kid, but then you're like, oh, it's a fucking kid, so he puts his gun away, right? But that kid falls. So as he's falling, Joe goes to save the kid, and it's all in slow mo. And like, okay, I know how this is gonna work out, but instead, Sarah is there taking Joe out, and at that moment, I remember like in the theater, and now just like watching it again, I was like, oh fuck, that's right. Okay, that's a cool idea because at that time you think Joe's gonna save the kid and Sarah's gonna be like trying to save the kid, but no, she's like, let this kid fall because it's gonna be bad.
He's about to explode. Yeah.
Blow up. Yeah, because that's how he killed like his own mom and all stuff. And the kids.
Are we sure about that?
What?
Is that he killed his own mom?
Well, there's a line where Joe says, "Is that how his mom died?" She goes,
Yeah.
Well, Sarah's
it's
his
not
real
what- it's not
mom,
what you
though.
think. Well, right. The aunt raised him, but
The aunt
but
raised him.
he was on a bookshelf and he fell and he got mad and hurt himself, and she died. So we don't know how she died, but
it's assumed
saluted.
that's
Yeah.
how. Yeah.
He blew her up.
Okay.
So she's dedicated to make sure that this kid, it's her own kid. It's a bond that she'll have with her own child. And she's like, I'm going to make him a good person. I can control it. So that's what she's just trying to do. She's just trying to represent goodness and love.
Yeah.
And that, I think,
Akira like powers,
I think the kid acting really came through in Sid too, because like after he blew up Jesse, like he didn't do it out of malicious intent. Like he was just it's basically just his version of a temper tantrum for like any other kid. Like it was an accident. Like
Sarah knew he was going to get upset, so she let him blow up Jesse then?
Right. She knew something bad was going to happen. Like he
or just like we'll blow up if we stay in this room because this kid's going to be angry.
Yes, exactly. Right. So anything within that radius was done for. So like even his face was covered in blood. He had tears running down his cheek. Like he doesn't know what happened. He didn't know why he did it. It just happened, and you could tell he felt remorse. So like to Sarah's point, like if she can raise him, she can help him control it, and he won't become this monster, that everybody thinks he is. So, and she was right,
Is she?
Yeah, because at the end in the loop, young Joe's like, I see it all happen.
Yeah.
A mom gets killed. A boy is sad, angry, alone, fucking goes off.
Anything else
angry,
could happen.
and specifically angry at loopers. That's
Right.
why he's hell bent on closing them all
That's
in
true.
the future, because he's like, you fucking took away my mom. You're fucking a poison or what on society. Who knows what his agenda is? All we know from their perspective is that he's wiping out these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, all the
doesn't sound like a
loopers
good
work
guy.
for crime syndicates, which we could consider evil. So essentially, the Rainmaker is killing bad guys.
Sure,
So is the Rainmaker really
True.
a bad guy?
Well, he's not just killing those guys.
He's
He's
like-
also doing other
No.
Oh, yeah,
shit.
because he came out of nowhere and he took over the town. That's what they say.
Like
The
5
Rainmaker's
crime
taken over.
syndicates, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he could
But
do
either way-
anything he wants. Like he's like
Right.
one of the most powerful, telekinetics that exist. Because
KT,
they TKs. yeah.
TK.
When did they explain how people became telekinetic, or they just said
They just said it's a
eventually-
Yeah.
mutation.
mutation in the future?
People are
That's
born.
it.
It's like My Hero Academia. Like how many ever percent of people are born with superpowers? It's only 10
Right.
in this world. 10% of people are born with this TK mutation, and they can do
Right.
fucking float a coin or whatever.
They can move basic like metal or little things or whatever it is.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, move.
But Sid was this super rare case where he's like super powerful. Much more
Right.
powerful than normal.
And Sarah has it.
People with these TKs.
She just
yeah.
doesn't show it off. But she seems a little stronger than other people because she said the boys would try
I like
to
that.
show off, and she said, and I like to push it down. So you already knew that she was more powerful than just like normal people TKs.
Mm-hmm.
But she gave birth to a son, so maybe she had sex with another man who had a good, it's like the fucking Force basically.
super
but,
TKs.
Right, it's genes.
yeah, so
TKs.
he's basically a super TK, which is still cool. Just like, cause it's funny, not funny, but it's interesting that it's a time thriller movie. It's like, all right, time travel. I love this shit. And you get this whole dilemma of young Joe and old Joe, but then you have this whole other side concept of there's just this mutation that people
Yeah.
have with telekinesis.
It's almost like
a
a throwaway thing at the beginning too. Like they don't even
Right.
really. Seth
And
is
I
just
love
doing his
that.
shit, and they're like, "Oh yeah, some people are born with this TK mutation," but then it doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't really come back around until
to the very last
Yeah.
act.
Mhm.
yeah.
Right,
so
totally agree. And I think that's
cool.
great writing. He took his time with it. It wasn't like somebody threw a coin in the air and shot a bullet off.
Right.
There was none of that shit. It was just like, it's a parlor trick. Look at you. Wow, you can move a fucking lighter or a coin.
But he
Wow, and that's
planted
it.
that seed in your brain in the beginning, and
Right.
then at the end you're like, "Oh shit, this kid
Well,
is
you
a
couldn't
fucking
be
super
powerful
powerful."
with it.
yeah.
You can vaporize people like a fucking grenade went off.
Yep.
Hey, I've dealt with temper tantrums like that. It's no fun.
Oh, yeah. That's what's scary about it. It's just like, kids can
Like,
just
there's
like...
no-
my-
Fly off the handle.
there's no off
reasoning.
switch.
There's no
No.
reasoning with them. You can't. No. Yeah. They're just in a frenzy.
I think it would be interesting if Looper. I do this a lot, but if Looper was, like a TV show. I just think you could have a bunch of loopers, and some that get
Anthology
closed,
style,
and you could
yeah.
have some that ran away, and you could have some ones that are running around. Then you have some TK. Like I think the world building in this is really good, and I'd be interested in at least seeing a TV show version.
Follow the
doesn't have to be the same
Rainmaker
character, but
as he
just-
works as an undercover police officer in a dirty, grimy city. Make it like
Right. He's like not supposed
future
to
Blade
use
Runner
his
shit.
powers, but if he really needs to, he can use his TK
Yeah.
powers if shit goes down.
oh yeah. There
But
you
if
go.
anybody finds out,
he's off of
he's
the squad.
fucked.
We're
Yeah,
taking your
right.
badge.
I'd be more interested, like an anthology, follow a bunch of different loopers and all of their shenanigans.
because they're still technically in business, right?
Right. After
'Cause if the Rainmaker doesn't get created,
right
then-
after
then-
Joe stops the loop, the cycle, then that's where the time travel stuff gets a little wishy-washy because like you said, does Joe doing that reverse everything, or does this just stabilize the timeline from here on out? It's weird because I don't
Right.
think you can change anything that already happened, but going forward it will change things. It's weird.
Yeah,
Like you
and
can
that's
change
right,
the
though.
future, but you can't change the past.
The crime syndicates will have they will get time travel again, and then the crime syndicates will just start sending people back again. So
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's poised for an HBO series, right now.
it is a very cool concept. Other than the pacing issues at the beginning of the farm where it slows the hell down. I don't think my wife even made it a half hour in to this one. She was just
really
out. So
I
liked it.
I didn't mind the time on the farm. Just we needed a little bit of character building with Sarah and Sid, and obviously with Joe kind of making the turn, realizing becoming less and less selfish, starting to care more about what happens to Sarah and Sid.
I would like to see more Joseph Gordon-Levitt in films. I don't know if it's just me,
yeah,
but
he was in a lot of movies.
He was a good actor in this.
In this like 2010s era, he was in a lot of movies. Like he was in. I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie. Was it Don John with Scarlett Johansson? He's addicted to porn or whatever, and he's like a hardcore Catholic, but he's addicted to porn, and he can't give it up. And like his girlfriend is Scarlett Johansson, and she's always like giving him shit about. I remember that one. That was from around the same era.
I'm looking at this guy. I didn't know he's a day older than me. That's fucking crazy.
1 day older than you? Damn.
Yeah, February 17th, 1981.
Wow.
I don't know. I thought he was a couple years younger than me. I didn't know that he's the same age as me. Yeah, it's movies though.
I mean, he did the Sin City. I started watching the Dame to Kill For
the second one
sequel, and it seems solid in that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, he's 2010s era was, I think, his era.
A lot of little ones, and then he just drops like he was in the Snowden movie as Edward Snowden, and then he was just like a voice in The Last Jedi. Like he was just I don't even know who Slow and Low is. We'll have to look up that on our next obscure Star Wars characters.
There was a movie, I forgot what it was called. Premium Rush, that's what it was called, where
Sounds like a racing movie.
He plays a courier on a bike in a city, but he's like, they're all racing to deliver these packages as fast as they can without fucking getting hit by cars and shit. Dude, I wanted to see
that. Was that good?
It was. I remember liking it.
I like that concept. I remember it
being pretty intense.
Something so small like that, just like a fucking character in a city just doing something.
Yeah, it was cool.
I don't know. Simple, like a fucking bike ride. Did you know that he was in Angels in the Outfield? This is like when Eric was born, but
no, I didn't.
It's a 1994 movie with Danny Glover. Yeah, Angels in the Outfield. It was a baseball movie. They were really bad, and then
isn't Christopher Lloyd in that one too?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd, I think, was one of the angels.
God,
but he's the main kid. It's just funny that he's been around for a while.
He
might have just made his money, dude. I mean, he hangs out with comedians and actors.
He was getting involved in some video game stuff too. I remember he was advocating for some
music and
nice.
He might just be taking a break. He's like, I made my money. I've been like the young hot guy in Hollywood for a bit. Let me do my own thing now. And or maybe roles are drying up and he's switching over to maybe directing. Who knows?
In The Last Jedi, his scene is he's the alien on the beach that tells the police about Finn and Rey landing their thing on the ship. That's all he was.
Oh yeah, they parked over there. I said you can't park over there.
that was fucking Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's weird. I love it when they have like these little side off you would never
was that enough to get you to like that movie yet, or is it?
It's getting there. I mean, I need another rewatch. I don't know.
It's good.
That's
good
cool
stuff.
He's in the new Beverly Hills Cop movie too. So.
Oh really?
More stuff coming out. So.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Interesting.
You guys got any closing comments on Looper?
Nah.
I feel like we've talked about pretty much
everything. About it in loops.
That's true.
No, I think remind people to go back and watch this one. I think it's easy to say, yeah, it was good, but no, seriously, it's a good sci-fi movie. It does some very intelligent things. And I really appreciate the world building that Ryan did for this one. It's actually pretty good compared to other movies. They kind of
Yeah.
And they focus on the right things. They didn't focus on the technology, just the concept and just showing the world. Like you said, the fucking solar panels on an old car. Like, yeah, that's what you would see. You would see that makeshift technology. Like, oh, I'm not rich enough, but we'll do this to get a powered car or something like that. So I appreciated it.
100% agree. Like they did some things in this movie, some interesting things with the concept of time travel and how the stuff that you do in the present affects your future self and all that stuff. Like some of the stuff I've never seen done in a movie about time travel before. So I appreciate a lot of those things. The world building. I mean, the performance. We didn't even talk about the performances, but everybody. I think we didn't really need to talk about them because everybody did great. Obviously, we didn't really focus much on Bruce Willis as a character or as his performance, but
he's charming as fuck with his Asian wife, man. I felt really bad, like in the short moment that we had of that version of him. It's like, wow, he really has changed because it's when young Joe falls from his apartment and when he's on the ladder and that guy can't fucking shoot a fucking wall. He falls and it kind of goes black and then we see him and he shoots. So you see how the loop starts.
Yeah.
It takes us to like that moment where instead he kills himself and he's got all that money and he goes to Asia instead of France, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shanghai, yes.
Goes
Shanghai.
to China. Yep.
Shanghai, specifically. And then, and then you see that 10 years go by and all stuff. And it's funny, though, there's like one scene where they show like the first time we're supposed to be seeing like, like Bruce Willis's like younger version, like the mid version, maybe like in his 40s.
Oh.
He's got this like weird
comb
hair.
over.
He's losing his hair. Yeah. That was great.
That was a bad haircut. Trying to show the middle.
Just shave it off.
But no, it's great. He's so good at his roles that you instantly, because you're already attached to young Joe, but I'm already liking this old Joe. I'm like, oh, he's really turned it around. He's blah blah blah, and I like that he I even like how he escapes. I thought that was like a really cool move that he did to get out. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, like fight for your fucking life. Don't just like take it, So I thought that was pretty neat.
I agree, and I mean. I definitely was not rooting for old Joe when he went back in the past because he does
once you learn what he's trying to do,
right?
Yeah,
and what he's willing to do to get what he wants. But yeah, the performance by Bruce Willis was fantastic.
Hair.
All right. Well, I think that's enough about Lupa. So after we take a little break here, we're gonna play a little game to round us out. But we'll do that. It's 20 questions, but it's a variation on 20 questions. So,
okay.
We'll do that right after this, and we are back with a hopefully quick little game of 20 questions. But I'm doing a little twist on 20 questions. This is 20 questions speed round. All right, so it's gonna be. This is the hint that I'm giving you. It's all Bruce Willis movies, so that should make it easier. But you have 20 questions to guess 3 movies. 3 separate Bruce Willis movies in 20 questions.
Wow. Okay.
So, the big hint is that they're all Bruce Willis movies. You know that right out the gate. So your object is to narrow down.
Figure out what the 3 are.
3 movies, yeah. So I'll go one at a time, and then say you get the first movie in 7 questions, then you have 13 questions left to get the last 2 movies. So.
Cool. Oh, okay. All right. Very cool.
All right.
Okay. I guess.
You lose if you don't get all 3 movies in 20
Question
questions.
number 1. Is this a Bruce Willis movie?
Yes. That's a waste of a question.
So, we can use later questions though against to like all right, is this first movie part of a franchise?
That's your first question?
Yes.
Is this first movie part of a franchise? No.
Okay.
So when we get to the second one, you're asking if we can loop back and ask if it's part of a franchise.
Yes, you can.
Saying?
Something.
Yes, you can do that. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
All right. So this first movie is not part of a franchise, so it takes out Die Hard.
Yep.
It takes out Look Who's Talking.
He was in a lot of like random stuff though too. There was like Kevin Smith movie.
Right. Have we talked about this movie on the podcast?
On the podcast? No. The podcast?
Whoa! Podcast? God, our accents in Western New York is brutal sometimes. Podcast? Is Bruce Willis...
Hold on. Well,
is Bruce Willis in this movie?
Is this movie after the year 2000?
No.
Can be hard. All right, hold on.
So it's 80s or 90s. We got that.
Right.
It's not part of a franchise. It could be like fucking Hudson Hawk or some bullshit like that.
Well, none of us have seen it, so I think he wouldn't know enough details to like do this. I think it's going to be 3 movies that are fairly known.
I don't know.
But
or are they?
Man.
Well, start hitting up the ones. I mean, Pulp Fiction, not part of a franchise. That was before 2000.
Pulp Fiction is a good one.
We haven't done that.
How would you even narrow down that?
Is it a Tarantino movie?
Hold on. Is he in other Tarantino movies?
I don't think so.
So what can we ask? Because that's very like if you get it, then you get. But like, what can we do that could also help us? Like,
right. You got to use strategy here.
Yeah, because like in Pulp Fiction, he's not the leading actor. He's just one of many people in it. You know, so like, I wouldn't say he's a side actor in that, but like, is he? Because we gotta be careful. There's 3 fucking movies we gotta get. You know,
that's true.
We gotta do this
3
each
questions.
time. Yeah. So. Is this a night? I don't know. Did he do a lot of 80s movies? No, he was honeymooners in the 80s, right?
Moonlighting.
Die Hard.
Moonlighting, Die Hard.
Think genres too.
Ish.
Genres will help you with these.
He's mostly done rom-coms and no, he's done a little of everything, I guess.
Action movies and.
All right. Does he kill anybody in this movie?
No.
Okay, so that takes out not only Pulp Fiction, but it takes out pretty much any action movie he's in because he's usually killing. But he doesn't kill anybody in Unbreakable, does he? And does he kill
90s?
Anybody in
Sixth Sense?
In Sixth Sense. I don't think he kills anybody in that. So
we got what was the other one you said? Sixth Sense and what?
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. Is that 90s? Is that early 2000s though? I think that's early 2000s.
Oh my god! So it's not M. Night Shyamalan movies then.
Could be Sixth Sense though. Sixth Sense wasn't that 90s? We could ask if he's a ghost. Spoiler alert.
He kills people in The Fifth Element. We also talked
about
that on the
Fifth
podcast,
Element. Don't forget about that.
Death Becomes Her.
Is Hudson Hawk in this? Like that's another. Like that's 90s, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know anything about that movie.
I think he's a thief of some sort.
Oh boy, Eric, this is gonna be
Sixth
hard.
Sense?
He's been in so many movies. Armageddon was what 1999. I don't think he kills anybody in that either.
It's a speed round.
Yeah.
We got
So-
4 questions.
Speed, so we're gonna be slower than shit. Armageddon was definitely 90s.
Does he die in this movie?
Does he die in this movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. He dies in Death Becomes Her, and he dies in
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense,
And he dies in Armageddon.
and he dies in Armageddon.
So we narrowed it down to 3, I guess.
don't want to miss a thing.
I was just gonna say, is Aerosmith in this movie?
Um,
We're really
yeah,
trying to
right,
decide.
'cause-
I think it's gonna be Sixth Sense or Unbreak or Armageddon.
All
It's
right,
got to
all
be
right,
one of
all
those
right.
two.
Is because he's a dad in that, but he's not a dad in the other two. So we could.
Okay, yeah. Is he a dad?
Is he a dad? I think so. Yeah.
All right. Well, Liv Tyler is his daughter. So he's a dad, and he dies, and he doesn't kill anybody else. What other movie in the '90s did he do that would fit that?
I'm drawing blanks. There's been, like you said, there's been so many that he's not a dad in the Sixth Sense, is he?
No, he's just
I haven't
married.
seen that in so long.
No, he's just
okay.
married.
Well, I don't think he's a dad.
Does
I don't think he's a
Huh?
dad in this movie.
oh
I'm
Oh.
amending. He's not a dad in this movie.
Oh, all right. Well, hold on a second. So,
so we found it.
that's fine. So I'll just pretend that you just said no to that. So now I'm thinking, because he's not. I've seen that movie a few times, so I know that he doesn't have a kid. He just has a wife, and he really just talks to the kid because he's hunting him. So, that movie came out in 1999, I think.
Yeah. But we should
So-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What happens if we get one wrong? Do we lose?
No. You can. I mean, you can keep going.
Or
You
does it just be a question?
You just won't get full credit. Yeah, you could just count it as a question. But I don't want to do that because then I don't want you just willy nilly guessing movies.
All right, then we'll be very careful. It's gotta be the Sixth Sense.
Because he dies. That's the big part, and it's not part of a franchise.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Um,
Not a dad. I'm good with it.
Okay.
If not, we'll just use a guess on it.
it's this
and
first movie, The
we'll
Sixth
know.
Sense.
It is The Sixth Sense. Yes.
All right. Whoa. Okay.
You
All
guys
right,
were
next
already
movie.
there anyways, so I was like, no, I guess he's not a dad. I was like, I don't remember if he's got a kid in this movie
right.
or not.
All right. Well, is this
Mo-
next movie a come
Franchise?
out after the year 2000? Oh, is it a franchise?
I got them all
And
right here.
is it after the year 2000?
Those are both your first two questions.
Yes.
Well, those are the loop questions.
That's true. No, it is not part of a franchise. No, it did not come out after 2000. So I'm not counting the guess for the movie as a question. So
Oh,
that's
perfect.
8,
Thank you.
That's
Okay,
8 questions.
Okay, that makes me feel better. That's tough.
Also, these actually. So our loop questions count?
Yes, of course they count.
Oh, I thought we got the loops for free.
No, we don't get those for free.
No,
What are
I
you
don't get
talking
those for
about?
free.
I'm looping back.
No, I
Not-
meant looping back isn't like. Have we mentioned this?
You
before?
can, yeah. I mean, you can
know,
use
like,
those questions again,
Has
but
has this
they
movie
still
been?
count.
Has this movie been on our podcast?
No,
Oh my God!
I'm just gonna ask all the same questions.
Yeah, does he die in this? Is he a dad?
Well, we're back to where we were again, though, before.
Oh, he was
That's
also
true.
in the Jackal.
Jackal. Yeah.
Kills Jack Black with a giant machine gun.
What?
Jack Black's in that movie, bro.
In Jackal?
He sells him the gun. He goes, "Run out there. Let me see how it works." And he starts chasing him automatically. And then he goes, "All right, now put your hand up." Blows it off.
Oh, shit. So we could be back to this being Pulp Fiction again. Because it's not a franchise, not
That's right.
after 2000, and not on the pod.
This isn't Tarantino movie.
You'd ask if he kills anybody again, because
Oh, yeah, that's right, because he kills Vincent
he does kill Vincent on the toilet.
on the toilet. So
Zed's
yeah, does he kill
dead.
anybody in this movie?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so it's not Pulp Fiction.
Not
When did
Fifth
Armageddon
Element.
come out? Could it be Armageddon? No, wait.
It could be. We could ask if it takes place in space.
One specific movie. Hold on. What
Because
do we
it's
know
not
about
Fifth
it?
Element.
It's not been on this podcast. It's
Because
not
we
part of the
did Fifth
franchise.
Element.
Probably an 80s, 90s movie. Most likely 90s. Not Fifth Element because he doesn't kill anybody. Does he?
Yep.
Does killing yourself count as killing anybody?
Is that a
Oh,
question?
Armageddon. I'm asking Dave that. You don't answer that unless it's
No,
doesn't
I
count.
think because we're saying it does he kill anyone, so it's got to be somebody other than.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can we rule out?
No, I
How
can't
can
say
we
anything.
rule out?
Because it's not gonna be Fifth Element, Unbreakable, Sixth Sense. We already said, yeah.
I just did that.
I can cross that one out. Okay, there you
Sixth
go.
Sense?
Is it
Is
that
that
Is
one
this
again?
the Sixth Sense?
Oh, is that one?
We are looping.
Yep.
the Sixth Sense again.
I don't know, Dave. The space question. What else can we ask instead of
4, 5,
space?
6,
Like,
7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, we're only on 10, so we got time.
Yeah. You guys are doing good.
I asked a question.
I kind of like the space. Does it
No, I
take
didn't
place
ask.
in space?
Does it take place in space?
Does it-
No. Yeah. Hold on.
Do they leave the planet Earth in this movie?
Well, if
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
That's a
okay.
question. Yes. Yes. I was gonna, if you said it, does it take place in space? That one was a little.
Yeah. Technically.
Does the
All right.
last 20 minutes take place in outer space? All
Act
right.
3.
So
So it's Armageddon,
your-
right?
I
They
would
leave.
think-
They leave Earth.
What other movie is he leaving Earth? And it's not Fifth Element because he kills people. in
Die
that.
Hard 10. Outer
Yeah.
space murder.
Yeah. Right. I gotta stop the galaxy from
Right.
killing itself.
Outer space terrorism.
You good with it?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait.
Armageddon.
Yeah. We haven't done it for the show. Yeah.
It is Armageddon, yes.
Ah.
All right.
Two.
All right.
Two
all
movies
right.
and 11,
Yeah.
11 questions. All right, one more.
All right, all right. Have we called this movie out already?
During the game?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Wow. Really?
I
Okay.
don't think so.
Okay, so it's not
don't-
Pulp Fiction,
All right.
not Fifth Element.
After the year 2000.
Hold on, I gotta look it up.
Ooh.
I think so.
Ooh, it's around that late 80s, 90s, early 2000s. What? He doesn't know.
No, actually, no, it's not after 2000.
It's a 90s movie, late 90s. What late 90s movie does he die in this movie?
I don't think so.
Doesn't sound like Eric saw this movie.
I was just gonna say that.
What movie?
I
did Eric not see?
honestly don't remember.
If he dies.
I don't remember.
All right. I'm crossing that question off then.
It's not Unbreakable because we said that. It's not Pulp Fiction because we said that. It's not Look Who's Talking 1 and 2 because I said those. So
Fifth Element,
was he
Hudson
fucking
Hawk,
in?
Jackal are the other ones.
yeah, right. It's just said all those, and he's acknowledging.
Yeah, I don't think he dies.
Was there a movie where he did a voiceover for a cartoon? I know he did Look Who's Talking, but did he do like All Dogs Go to Heaven? Something like that?
I don't think so.
No, that was Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, I get those two mixed up. Bert and Bruce. It's not
Death Becomer.
Kevin. The Kevin Smith movie was 2000s.
Right, it's not those Red movies. Oh, fuck!
No,
Red.
wait.
Those are
Hold
all-
on. Can I make an amendment?
Oh, go
Do you
for
still
it.
want to go with the dying question?
Oh, I mean, I asked that question, and you said, right?
The,
So, or did
The
I ask
que-
that question yet?
You did.
the question. So if we count that as two questions, the
Oh,
answer
yeah.
to that question is yes. He does die in this
He
movie.
does die.
Okay.
Bruce is
dies in
always
this movie.
dying.
Bruce is always dying. I had to
The
look up
final.
the ending because I didn't remember.
Wow.
When was 12 Monkeys?
We talked about. I already named that movie.
Oh, we did mention it. Okay.
Hold on. Have we talked about this on the podcast?
Yes.
Okay, could be Sin City. No, wait, that's 2000s. Fuck.
I also, the first question, I said, I don't think so, so don't trust my memory.
On what?
If we
The first
mentioned
question
it.
was, did you mention
Oh my god, another amendment. All right. It's
I don't,
totally
you
12
can't blame
Monkeys.
me.
He's trying to be cheeky. It's another time traveling movie, and he's making that the.
12 Monkeys?
He dies at the end of 12 Monkeys, because he gets shot, and then he sees himself as a
at
kid
the airport.
seeing himself die,
Yeah.
and it starts that loop. It'd be very fitting for him, and very poetic to end this episode with it being 12 Monkeys. So, is Brad Pitt in this movie?
Yes, I think.
Yes.
You think? Or
What do
know?
you think? He's the other main character.
I guess I don't remember a lot about this movie.
Oh, really? It's a good movie. Is it 12 Monkeys?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
How many questions was that?
That was 14.
Okay, so technically, if you counted the guesses too,
You still would have got
17,
it,
You
yeah.
still got under. Okay.
Man, we were getting
Well, I
good at
fucked up
this.
that last one because apparently I really like 12 Monkeys, but I don't remember a lot about that movie, I guess.
Right.
There were some weird parts in that one.
Wasn't
for
his
sure.
name Joe in that too?
His name was Cole.
Cole.
Yeah,
Cole.
Cole.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, good job, gentlemen. You solved the loop. You
What
broke
happened?
out of the
Where-
loop.
Where did we go? Time camp?
You're going to
Time
yeah,
camp.
you're going to
Oh, that's
China,
time camp.
Shanghai.
Oh yeah, his wife was pretty. freaking
I was
cute,
gonna say
so-
to meet a nice lady and settle down in the country, out there.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds pretty good
Yeah.
to me.
Does.
But yeah, that was a fun one. But let's get out of here. That was another good entry in the year of Bruce. Looking forward to doing some more. We'll have to line up the next one.
Bruce Willis,
I really
20
want to do.
questions is a good. You don't realize how many fucking movies the guy has done, but he's done.
He's done a lot.
He's done a lot.
74 movies in
Wow.
total was his filmography.
Damn, bro.
He's
That's
done
a
a
lot.
lot of like semi-recent ones within the last 5 years that I'm like,
Okay, he was
I
doing
didn't
right up
even
until this
know.
dementia?
Yeah,
Wow.
he released one last year. Like I don't know if they might have filmed it like in 2022,
sure.
but like there was a movie last year that was released with Bruce Willis.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
awesome.
shit. Okay.
I might have to see his last movie, honestly.
I know. It makes me looking at all the movies he's done. It makes me want to see more because it makes me realize there's a lot that I haven't seen.
Right.
So, yeah, we'll get some more. We'll get some more on the schedule for the year of Bruce. But in the meantime, we'll get you out of here. Thanks for joining on this episode of talking about Looper.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for
Oh,
joining
them,
me,
sorry,
fellas.
them, not me. The no.
Yeah, you guys are always here. I don't care about you guys. No, I'm just kidding. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us at Nomads of Fantasy on Twitter and Instagram, at The Nomads of Fantasy on TikTok. You can follow or you can join our Discord, thenomadsoffantasy.com/Discord. Join our website. Go to our website, thenomadsoffantasy.com. You can listen to the pod there. You can get some merch. You can play What Map game. If you like guessing video game maps, all the good stuff. You can
Just join the Discord if you
Yeah,
really
join
want
the
to
Discord
interact
if you
with
wanna
us.
keep up on everything.
We're in there all day. At least the three of us are hopping in, and we got some active members in there.
It's always fun.
People suggest stuff, so we've done episodes. Hell, we've even had somebody listen on the show because it's just
Yep.
great community there.
That's right. That's right. So all that and more are waiting for you. The nomadsoffantasy.com/Discord. We even have like community game nights sometimes, Mario Kart, all that good stuff. So it's fun. Join in over there. But yeah, I don't got much else. So I don't know why I was gonna say I'll see you guys next time. As always, safe travels. Nomads.
Peace out.
fuck are you doing your fingers over there?
I was doing electrical work and I stabbed myself with a screwdriver.